A good day. I'm Ken from Admission Solutions in Berhad. Today we have a Roland Sullivan from American to talk about organization development and organization transformation. Hi Roland, nice to meet you.
Glad to meet you.
Yep.
Clark Kent, Superman.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, alright. What is organization development?
Oh my gosh. People have been trying to define that phrase for the last 50 years.
Okay.
My definition, created with Dick Beckert, who originally defined the phrase organization development, and Minneapolis, Minnesota, where I live, in the early years, called it plan change in order to make the organization more effective and healthy. He and I redefined that as being a systemic, that means organization-wide, and systematic, there is a set process to how to do it in order to make the organization excel and become more positive utilizing applied behavioral sciences. That's what it simply means to help the organization become more of what it is.
Okay, alright. So what is whole system transformation?
Well, whole system transformation came about, well, I coined it in the 70s. But there is a problem in the OD world, says Dick Beckert. He says we've lost the O in organization development. Instead, we're doing piecemeal work. And if I can, I'd like to quote something that two giants wrote. One is Werner Berk from Columbia, who I'm bringing to Malaysia, the Columbia program here to Felda very shortly, and his friend Dr. Bradford, whose father started organization development at National Training Laboratories. And this is what they wrote. Many OD consultants claim that the title of organization development is what they do, but they do not engage in the practice. It may be that they use various OD techniques. This is good, but it does not make them OD consultants. We are all in favor of people doing team building, third-party intervention, conflict resolution, appreciative inquiry, organization design, visioning, strategic planning, and the like. These are all valuable approaches, but it does not mean they're developing the organization.
Okay.
That's where whole system transformation comes in. Whole. Everything moves. System. Every aspect. Planning, strategy, culture, processes, the IT, social media, everything is involved. And so that's why it's important. Now I'm going to define what WST is. It facilitates change that is all-inclusive, comprehensive in nature. It addresses the challenges of the entire organization that the CEO focuses us on. Not what some outside consulting firm is selling. Okay? It is whole-based while paying attention to separate but related aspects of the organization.
Okay.
So, got the difference?
Yep.
One, that's why I use the word whole. We don't leap the frog's nose, no, one leg forward or his tail forward. We leap the whole frog forward.
That's right. Yeah, agreed.
And transformation is breakthrough. Everybody uses it today,
Yes.
especially Malaysia. And I've been here. I know about the government programs.
Okay.
I know about McKinsey. And I know about the people who are OD people from Shell and so forth that are influencing Malaysia. But they're still doing organization change, small change. They're not making a breakthrough where the caterpillar becomes the butterfly. And I know that you want this country to be a developed country by 2020.
Yes, right.
And no other country in the world I know is so focused on such a wonderful vision and dream. And I would like to do my little part to show a new alternative way of really getting transformation.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
You're supposed to ask me next, what are the benefits of transformation?
Yeah, okay. What are the benefits of whole system transformation?
The benefits are, theoretically, there is a shift. And the shift is such that once the movement is made, it can't return to the old state. It's a breakthrough. The caterpillar becomes the butterfly.
All right.
Just yesterday in Singapore, I met with Dr. Ewis, and she says, Roland, the CEO of Seaman Griesek has been texting me and telling me that he is so excited because Seaman Griesek has just been chosen as one of the 10 most important companies of Indonesia.
Wow.
Okay? There's an interesting relationship between Indonesia and Malaysia.
Yeah.
They argue about where the shirt patterns and the drums and thing came from, who had them first.
Yeah.
In any case, what happened was that organization shifted because we brought the 3 major cement companies together who had been trying to integrate for 4 years. And we integrated them in 4 days. Because for the first time we put the top 5 executives from the 3 companies together, and we did a transformative experience where we took a picture of them at the last day, and they were all smiles and had their arms around each other. And when that picture hit the front page of the paper, whoa! It looks like they really are in harmony. Okay. When the whole country knew they were not before.
Okay.
And so they wouldn't invest money in them. All of a sudden they invested the money. So that's the benefit. We brought them together so they could work together. Okay? Number 2. I'm going to go to a bank in South Africa. We increased the profits to 69% in one of the 50 divisions. Every other division only went from 2 to 7%. Mm-hmm. I can send you the documentation and the film. Okay? Largest private insurance company in the United States. Moved customer satisfaction from 77 to 84%. A professor from Australia said that in a company of that size, 1% is worth $20 million. Okay?
Yeah.
What we know is that they spent $6 million on whole systems transformation, and now they can document on the bottom line $100 million return. So we don't want a little change. This is huge change in transformation. Okay? Because the world is changing so fast that you haven't got time to do slow change and change management. Yeah. You got to do it like that. And we have the social technology to do it now. And I want to bring that to Malaysia.
Okay, so why is the whole system transformation important?
Warren Bennis, the genius leader of leadership in the world for the last 50 years, wrote in 1969 that we are about to enter an epoch of a dizzying rate of change. And I said to every group that I've talked to since 1969. You know, I barely had whiskers then.
Okay.
And I said this: more change, Kent, will happen the remainder of your life since the beginning of civilization 4,500 years ago. Hang on to your hat. Whoever would have thought that Bank of America would have lost stock price 50%? Whoever would have thought of Facebook would have lost their value 50% after the IPO?
Yeah.
Whoever would have thought that Malaysia would have twin towers 20 years ago?
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And whoever would have thought that social media and the iCloud were going to just knock down the borders of the world,
Yeah.
and bring youth into it? Whoever would have thought
Yes, right.
a few years ago? It's going to it's just going to go beyond our imagination.
Yes.
In the next, not 10 years, the next 3 years. In the United States, we just discovered the cure for the 5 major cancers.
Okay.
You may live to be 200 years old
Yeah.
because of the new breakthroughs in medication.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Not in the United States, in Asia.
Okay.
Thailand has the most advanced hospital in the world. Okay? So dramatic things are happening. And so we need whole systems transformation to help our organizations change immediately right now and sustain that capability, or they're going to be left behind.
Yeah. Agree.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right? Like Kodak. Kodak is a great example.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Good example.
Motorola.
Yeah. They're left
BlackBerry.
behind. Yes, right.
BlackBerry. Just like that.
Yes, right.
They lost.
Yeah.
And Apple. Woo!
Yes, right.
You know? Just like, so we need to get our organizations to be agile
Yep.
and sustain that capability. Because you young people do have no patience.
Okay.
You don't want to play the games of yesterday.
Okay.
You want to grow and go. Because guess what? On my daughters, no, not my daughters, because it's not true for her, but in her peer, 24 years old, they have their recruiter on speed dial.
Okay.
Because they don't stay in an organization more than a few years.
Okay.
In India, it's about 8-9 months. Then they get to double their salary. Why don't they leave? So they do.
Okay.
So big things are happening. That's why we need whole systems transformation. Because Warren Bennett says, my mentor at Pepperdine University, the #1 change school in the world, all organizations today are in a crucible, a pressure cooker. They're either going to transform to be bold and beautiful and courageous and master reality and excel, or they're going to be hopelessly dying. Now I'm going to say something radical. I was just at the quality conference in Minnesota of all the quality groups. And from Chicago, there was a doctor there that shared the research on the state of the world. And he showed Japan essentially as dead. Who would have thought?
Yes.
10 years ago. It's dead.
Yeah.
#2, Europe is dead, dying. Next. I mean, Europe is why Malaysia is great. Because they taught you things. You know, in Singapore. I mean, you learn from Singapore. Singapore is great because the British were there.
Yeah.
And now the British got their nose and the snoot high, and they, you know, all they want to do is drink tea.
Yeah.
And guess who else is dying? The United States.
Okay.
Okay? It is. They showed the statistics. And I was just, and then guess who's growing and going? They showed all the statistics in all the colors from Malaysia and Singapore and India and China and Vietnam and the Philippines. Woof! You're going to go through the roof in the next 10 to 20 years.
Yeah, agree.
Yes?
Yes.
See, my father didn't have, he only had one pair of shoes when he grew up, when he was your age. He was poor. He could not buy food at a store. He had to raise his own chickens and butcher his own cows and his own milk because he was poor. He died almost a millionaire.
Okay.
Because from 1940, when he was poor, and when I was a little boy, I only had a few little things. From 40 until 70, that's 30 years.
Yes.
He was driving a brand new Buick every year. Okay?
Yeah.
He had more money than he knew what to do with. Because he was just a farmer. He didn't care about, he just wanted to have good chat with his buddies.
Yeah.
And talk about the weather and the crops. Okay?
Yeah.
That happened in 30 years.
Yes.
What is going to happen here in 30 years with social media and technology?
Yes, a lot.
You're going to jump right over all that stuff, mistakes that we made and what you learned. Yeah. And we see it's going to happen overnight.
Yes, right.
And so, you got to start taking care of yourself. And you got to learn and not waste a minute.
Yep, agree.
And be ready for the future.
Yeah, agree. Okay. Social media is a current trend. So, do you agree organizations needed to be more socialized?
Using social media
Yes, right.
as an essential part of their organizational life.
Yes, right.
Absolutely. I have been blessed and graced to have a client who is the #1 photographer in the United States. Lifetime. What is it? I don't know. Lifetouch. Google them, you'll see. And they brought me in to bring social media into the organization in one division. And so what we did, now see what's going on there is they have professional photographers all over the United States. Thousands of them. Okay? And we wanted the individual artists to communicate with each other from Chicago to New York to Dallas or wherever they were. And there's nothing better to do that than the internet. And so they could share their concerns, they can share their best pictures, they can share ideas, and because they're spread out all over the country, it gave them that opportunity. So we helped them do that. Then the company wanted to input on how the organization could change. And so we had conversations online, and we had surveys. And guess what the biggest issue was? The honesty of the young people.
Okay.
You know how the internet is.
Yes, right.
It's brutally honest.
Yeah.
Sometimes part of it's not true.
Yeah.
You got to know that. And so we had to help management understand that they had to accept and not censor anything that was said.
Okay.
Okay? Because if it's censored, the people say, why should I write it?
Yes, right.
Okay? So then what we did is we had committees virtually working in order to distill all the data, and we looked for patterns. As my friend Mark here from Dr. Mark from Malaysia says, we look for patterns. And then they had a problem-solving committees, and they made changes. Okay, and it worked beautifully. Best Buy, oh my gosh, they're changing.
Okay.
Their future is dependent on social media. They just hired the top social media person from, I don't know, one of the organizations that you know. Okay? I don't know, Yahoo or Google or whatever, one of them, you know? Because they know that retail in its current form is going to die fast.
Yep.
Because people are, just to my thought today, I saw something here in Malaysia or Singapore of all beautiful products. And I wanted to say to my daughter, hey, look at all this stuff. Oh, I was in the Twin Tower. And I saw these beautiful stores and these beautiful products and these beautiful brands. And I want to say to her, you go shop and you go down and take the number and you take a picture of it with I just got her the new iPhone, 5 phone. Take a picture of it and then you go online and buy it.
Yep.
Because you will get the cheapest price.
Yeah, compare the price easily as well.
Compare the prices.
Yes, right.
And I do Amazon now, and I don't pay any shipping.
Yes.
I get it cheaper.
Yeah.
Okay? And so that's the example of Best Buy using the social media world.
Okay.
So yes, where it should report? Oh, that's controversial.
Okay.
I don't know. It should report to the top management team. Now I'm going to be radical. 3M, one of the greatest companies in the world, probably the most innovative, they produce 75 new products every month.
Yeah.
The top executive team does what they call reverse interview. Anytime a new person comes in under 30 or 25, I don't know how it all goes, they go and have the top management team interview them and the young people tell top management what's going on out in the world and how they need to change.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Continually. They want to go and listen to the young people. All right?
Yeah, sure.
Now, I want to give you another thing. What's going on out there is... How old are you?
33.
Uh-oh, you're a little old. But are you really into social media?
Yes, right. I'm a sexually social media consultant.
Okay, then you're okay.
Okay.
Because they are taking the 30-year-old people and younger, because the 30-year-old people and older don't know how to do the smartphones as well.
Okay.
Understand?
Yes, right.
So they're skipping a generation for promotability because they have social media skill. All right?
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yes, right.
That's huge. And this is what's going on. 90% of the people 15 years or younger are in developing countries.
Oh.
And these people are starting to use social media. I was just in Indonesia, right, Maja? And oh my gosh, there they are on their smartphones with their scooters. Texting, sitting on the back of a scooter, texting.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And it has huge impact. I'll just give you one. I don't know. We just had my competitive team, Green Bay Packers, against the Minnesota Vikings, and the Green Bay Packers lost a game because of the bad referees. And there was like 70 million texts just like that. It changed the dynamic because they hired the original referees back in 4 days. That was because of social media. Right?
Yeah.
Huge change.
Yes, right. Huge.
It can make it. We can put the world together just like that.
Yes.
On social media.
Yeah.
Next question.
Organization will need to move away from the traditional silo structure to form a more integrated approach to social media. And social media will become an increasingly shared responsibility across multiple departments that will cooperate to provide the best social experience for the communities. Do you agree?
Well, of course. The reason I am in Asia right now is because I will be keynoting with my daughter, 24 years old, from Allstate in the United States, the 39th ARTO International Leadership and HRD Conference. It's called Enriching Borderless Environments.
Okay.
Why? Because social media is breaking down the silos and the borders and the boundaries. Instantly. We have people talking around the world on their iPhones, on Skype, and that makes it a borderless organization. And we now know that if we're going to transform and go fast, we must have no silos between production and marketing and sales and HR and support and IT. And the media, the social media, the technology with the cloud is going to go bonkers in the next 5 years.
Yes.
To the point where there's going to be holograms.
Yes, right.
Where you are going to come into a meeting in New York and we're going to see you with your smile, only we're going to be able to go like this and there's nobody.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
That's being present.
Yes, right.
That's being thoughtless. And so I'm going to address them and help them create in an interactive way the 10 principles for the new organization without the silo. The first one I put up there is customers. Why? Because the customers need to be involved like never before. And social media gives us a chance to have instant communication and interaction with customers. Number 2, or number 3, I forgot. Nanotechnology,
Yes, right.
which is social media. It is going to propel at rates that are beyond one's imagination in the next 3 years. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's remarkable. And then we've got to have trust.
Yes.
Because we're going to be working with cultures that are different.
Yes, right.
So I've been working with somebody in the Philippines, a printing company, in the U.S. And the U.S. wants them to be direct and they want to be shy. You know?
Yeah.
And so we have to trust. We have to communicate. And we have to blend our cultures. Fast and quick. Because if they don't, the competition is going to do it.
Yes, right.
So that's why we must have no silos in the organization, and we need to be borderless. And anybody who's watching this can go to our website and get the article. I guess it's called the Borderless Organization. It's about time or something like that.
Okay.
And they can read about why that's so important.
Okay. What's the website address?
It's called Sullivan Transformation Agents.com.
Okay, alright, thanks.
It will be there.
Okay.
SULLIVAN Transformation Agent.
.com.
.com.
Okay, alright. Social media makes organization change to more open, transparent and honest to internal staff and external customers. What's your comment on this issue?
A very important comment. Transparency, openness is absolutely mandatory in today's new world. I'm going to tell you why. I studied with Dr. Jack Gibb, one of the founders of organization development. He wrote the book Trust. Also go to my website or find me and you can get that book. It's out of print, but I have access to it up in the media. Free.
Okay.
This is what he says. Trust leads to openness and transparency. Leads to self-realization. Ha-ha! I just learned something. Leads to we must be interdependent and work together as a world, as a company, as religions, as disciplines, as everything. We must become one. One earth, one world, one team, one vision. Because last night in Singapore, or the day before, I can't remember, I saw this beautiful poster advertising. And it was two little guys riding in like a helicopter ride at a park. And it said, one team, one vision. Because they had to work together some way. So that's what the openness will do. Now, look what happens if you don't have that. And oh, Asia has got some work to do here. The opposite of trust is fear.
Yes, right.
When you're fearful, you're not transparent or open.
Yep, agree.
When you're not open, the boss creates dictation.
Yep.
Demand. Tells you what to do. And you become dependent on their thinking.
Yeah.
The world is changing so fast that the top cannot know what's going on down here.
Yes.
And the manufacturing company can't be like Ford assembly line, that they could keep the same year after year after year after year.
Yes.
Now we're going to change our manufacturing so it's not even done there, it's done in your home through printing.
Yeah.
My God, this is going to happen and be manufactured in my home instantly.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what that is yet. But it's around the corner. Okay?
Yeah.
And so, I want to repeat that so we're very clear. Because it's all around the concept of trust. Trust leads to transparency, leads to I got it, leads to interdependence or oneness. Mm-hmm. The opposite of oneness and interdependence is dependence. You do the thinking, I can't think. Mm-hmm. Can't have that.
Yeah.
We're going backward. It's imposition instead of learning myself. They impose their will on me. No, the world wants to be free.
Yep, agree.
Right.
Yeah.
And when there's fear, people can't be free, can't learn.
Yes, right.
And the frightening environments are going to get lost.
Yep.
And the other environments are going to take them over. Because this is what happens with social media. There is transparency and honesty because you can't control it. You can't get them.
Yep. Yes.
They can be anonymous.
Yeah.
They can be another part of the world.
Yes, right.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at the comments you find on Facebook.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Some social media experts say that organizations should use social networking sites, for example, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, to gather information from customers and even invite them to join organizations, especially in marketing department, to produce products or services that customers really need.
Absolutely, because the needs of the customers changes every 3 months, especially among you young people.
Okay.
I was at Linkage Organization Development and Talent Leadership Institute in Chicago a few months ago. And there was these 4 beautiful Muslim women, all, dressed and, and they were studying at the #1 social media university in the world, Northwestern.
Okay.
And they were talking to me about the importance of social media and how there's all these new creative ideas going on and how their students are in such demand by multinational organizations because they want the social media expert in their organization, because almost all, even my little manufacturing company of 50 million people, 50 million US dollars in revenue a year, is using Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn to be in touch with their customers. In fact, they're using it with their employees. They don't do a written newsletter anymore. It's daily, live. The CEO gets on and makes a video with his iPhone and shoots it out to all the people, and they watch it on their way to break. Okay? Or yes. And so it's very important to get the customer input through that way, because the barrier, the silo between the organization and the customer, needs to be transparent. And the way you get that stuff is through social media. So Nordstrom is saying the social media is helping them stay in touch with their customers. They're forming a relationship. Okay? Right. Just so they keep away from my social media, my computer. I don't want any advertisement.
You have 4 points in transforming organizations. The first is transform leadership. Second is to transform system critical mass. The third is transform competency to local change agent. And the fourth is sustain transformation. So in transforming leadership, does social media change the way leaders lead in organization?
Yeah, absolutely. A great leader is using social media every day to connect with the world. They should have a blog. They should have a Facebook page where they can respond. Now, an executive, what they may need is a guy like you to read all the stuff and just point to them the important stuff that they need to respond to. A company needs a leader today that engages other people. And the way they engage them is through social media. And so they should have a tweet that goes out regularly. And the people should retweet back to them. And the company, again, a guy like you should be going through all those tweets and say, hey, these are the key tweets that we would like to share with the rest of the organization. And so, yes, the leaders must use that, and the team must use that. And then I know the second question you had there is about the critical mass. So we bring the critical mass in large groups. And while the meeting is going on, we use social media. We broadcast live to their iPhones, to their computers at their desk, so they can tune in and watch what's going on in our meeting. And we have polls where they can put things in and vote on things that we're doing. And they can give input. And once in a while we'll engage them. We'll bring them in on media and they can talk. And they be in a whole different part of the world. You know, I first used social media with GMAC, the most profitable part of General Motors. They no longer exist because they didn't change and the world changed and the mortgage house things and so forth, you know, all crashed and, you know, the financial problems. They realized for the first time they were a global organization because of social media. Because we were bringing in the different countries around the world into the meeting so that they could talk to each other. Right. Where am I? Malaysia. Oh my God. What I want to do is that I want to do Malaysia Y Summit that focuses on youth and sports. And I want the Prime Minister's wife there. And I want us to set up, and maybe you can get involved. I want to social mediaize all of Malaysia. The televisions tell us about it. Because we want people watching us live.
Yes.
All the youth. And then we'll make clips out of it later. About what's going on in conversations. We want them tweeting. And we want them interacting with them. Because we'll send a poll out. And they can say, we want this or that. And I want to bring in Shaq O'Neal, who just got his doctorate in OD.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And on video, on Skype.
Okay.
You know, we're not going to get fly. He's too busy.
Okay.
But we can probably get him for 20 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, if he gets to talk to a whole country, the people would love to hear him, wouldn't they? I love the man. Yeah. He's funny. Yeah. He's a comedian. He's a movie star. Okay. He's bigger than life.
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, so I want to do the first greatest experience using social media in Malaysia for the whole country around an issue.
Okay.
That's a pretty big dream, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I have somebody talking to the Prime Minister's wife about that.
Okay. All right.
In Rio.
Okay.
Woo! Now let's talk about the internal change agent.
Yep.
You know, well, just simply that person is using media in all ways.
Okay. And
last I got to say is we want to use social media to evaluate and sustain the process.
Okay.
Amen.
Yep. Good. Everyone is using the word transformation, but only few can actually do it. So what's your comment on this?
My comment is this: is Teilhard de Chardin, one of the greatest Catholic philosophers and theologians, gave me the word transformation. He uses it in the beginning of the Divine Milieu or Phenomenon of Man, I can't remember what. And Dr. Gibb, who used trust, uses that line about transformation. And so I've been studying it my whole life. And this is what I know. That transformation is a radical leap to the future. And I've never seen a group or an organization transform in less than 2.5 days together. And I don't know anybody who is working that way. They're trying to create transformation in 1-hour meetings or with training or in 1-day sessions or 2-day sessions. You can't do it. The research says from New York, I think the University of New York, is that a person and a group must sleep on their data together 2 nights so that the magic is released and the transformation occurs in their mind on the 3rd morning. And so I have been working with Kathy Dandemiller, her book is called Whole Scale Change, Releasing the Magic, the Transformation. And she now retitled it The Whole Systems Transformation because she said that described what she did better. And simply what that we know, social psychologists know how to make the transformation happen. You don't have to measure it.
Okay.
Because it's so obvious. And we don't see that happening around.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
It only happens with a few of us. We can go to her website, Dan and Miller Tyson Associates. And where I'm associate, my legacy is to take her legacy forward. Because we know how to transform. We transformed Ford. They did not need to borrow government money like GM and Chrysler because they still are using the transformation principles that were created in 1980.
Okay.
Boeing created their 777 in the transformational experience. I talked to somebody yesterday in Singapore from Rolls-Royce, who one of his buddies was there. They had all the competitors of the engine companies for the airplanes in the room, talking together. And when everybody is talking together in an open way, and they realize truly their dissatisfaction and who they are, they automatically have a motivation to leap to something better and new. And when the whole system can do it without the leadership dictating and getting in the way, they become different dramatically. And when they do that, they perform higher and better. So what I'm just saying is, every time myself or Kathy Dannemiller, she just passed away, and any of her associates use a process that's been proven coming from national training laboratories and small group dynamics, which has been highly researched, we transform. We don't have any failures. In fact, I was working with somebody here in Malaysia, is one of the Islamic universities. Okay. I don't want to do confidentiality.
Okay.
And they were so excited about this concept that they had me go line up the top transformation consultants of the world to come here and help me after I break the egg. And I already have 2 of them coming under contract. Dr. Barbara Bunker from Columbia University and Dick Axelrod, faculty from Columbia University. And we will be working with one of the major organizations here this year. Okay, and we're going to help them learn about transformation. Everybody's talking about it.
Yes, right.
But only a few of us know how to get it. And we know how to teach other people to get it.
Okay.
That's the exciting thing. But we need the freedom from the CEO to allow the system to be truthful so it can happen. And if social media is involved, the transparency and the honesty and the directness will occur. And so I'll give you the example. Northwest Airlines, I can talk about them. They just got bought by Delta. We had such truth in the room with 400 managers that I had to go into the executives and say, they think they'll all get fired if they see the truth that they have on the wall. Because one of the truths is they had a customer from every major airport in the world. And when they were in a room on a breakout group, they were to write down what they appreciated about the IT division at Northwest Airlines, and after 10 minutes they couldn't think of anything. What a message! Wow, what truth! And Bob Borlick said, we've been through transformation ourselves as a team where there's honesty and directness, and we broke through. And listen, fellow teammates, we're going to listen. We're not going to be defensive and get upset. Okay? And we're going to hear them. And I don't want anybody looking angry. They went in, and I went to the other room, and it says they want to hear the truth. Oh my God, really? They told them the truth. And they didn't defend. And guess what happened? They got a standing ovation just for listening. Then they went at night and worked for hours and hours and hours and came back with a response to all of that. Guess what? They got another standing ovation.
Okay.
And guess what? They transformed. And today, 2012, that was 15 years ago, 6 months ago, I was called by Bob Dufek. And he says, Roland, my CIO from Northwest Airlines is the CIO of Delta because our IT division was so far superior to theirs because of what you did 15 years ago.
Wow.
Wow, right?
Wow.
That was transformation. It's all written.
Some of organizations in the world are reluctant to adapt social media. So will they leave behind?
Absolutely, no question. I'll give you an example. This is what I know. I am seeing CEOs focusing on social media because they don't want to be left behind. I had one IT group in a Fortune 100 company submit their IT budget. I don't know how many million, right? Guess what? The CEOs gave them an extra 20%.
Wow.
Because that's how important they believe IT, IS, whatever you want to call them, where social media usually is, so that they had all the resources they needed in order to do what is necessary. And there is great competition for great social media experts, because they're competing with other companies who are using social media and having success. Besides, social media is becoming a very important aspect of the election of the United States president.
Yes, right. Yep.
Right now.
The coming election. Yep.
Right? So absolutely they'll be left behind. It's an absolute necessity.
Okay. What is your advice to our viewers on social media and organizational transformation?
Whoa! Number one, transform yourself starting right now. What does that mean? It means to lose weight like I need to, eat perfectly, stop drinking. I haven't drank since I was 20 years old. I can't find organic fresh food here in Malaysia. There's a new CEO on the cover of Lifetime Fitness, my health club. He's the leader of the social consciousness or business consciousness group worldwide. They have a conference. He is absolutely fit and healthy. He is up to speed on all the technology. He has the latest gizmos and gadgets. Okay? He's changing himself. That's the first thing. Number two, transform your family and your kids. Number three, don't even blink in any resistance to change in the organization you're in. And if your organization isn't changing, leave. Go find an organization that's transforming so that you can experience a transforming environment. Next, learn and use nanotechnology and social media. I'm trying to do it. I've got 50 items from my blog that I now start using. I'm redoing my website. I have the iPhone 5. Okay? I'm using Drag and Dictate on my iPhone to dictate while I drive. I mean, my productivity has gone through the roof with if I can call that a social media, and I'm in my free time I learn about social media. Okay. I go to on the web and I learn about new things. I can't even tell you what I was looking at this morning. It was something about how a new program I've got to get. You know? And so, but here's what's going to go happen. In Malaysia, anyone here can get a Harvard or MIT education free.
Okay.
Free! All you need is a computer and go online. All their courses are free. Now you don't get the human interaction with the professor or the students, but you get all the knowledge.
Yeah.
And so you need to educate yourself, and you need to find the opportunities. And what's coming real soon is the $100 computer. It's almost here in the iPhone.
Yes.
That's only $200. I can go online with it. It's gotten faster. I can get a page. I can do all the learning at Harvard right now with my iPhone here in Malaysia. It's cheaper, much cheaper here to get it than you in the United States. And so, don't waste a minute. Learn. Get comfortable with social media. I mean, when I was in Singapore the other night walking, because I very seldom walk around, I'm always working there forever and ever, you know. Just did this big conference. Everybody was looking in their smartphones. At the bus stop, the traffic stop. Get involved, but use it productively and don't waste time with it.
Yes, right.
That's what I suggest.
Yep.
So, transform yourself. Help everything transform around you, and hang on to your hat, because the world is changing faster than you can imagine. It's the most exciting time of the earth.
Okay.
I only wish I was your age, so I could enjoy it. But I don't care, because I see it. I see the change and the breakthrough is already here. The wonderful world is coming.
Okay.
And I started doing things different because I was a hippie in the 60s. And I was thinking differently. And now the peace and love and the freedom is starting to happen.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing you have is your free will.
Yes.
And you can make choices. And don't use it in drugs. Don't say a bad word about anybody. Don't have negative thoughts.
Yes, right.
Be a great spiritual person, whatever it is, and transform yourself. And enjoy. Because it's not transformation for now, it's transformation for your destiny.
Yeah.